Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, thanks for connecting with us. Wherever you are, we're grateful to God that He's giving you life and giving you in abundance. A big thanks to Biadala and thanks for coming back. We pray that your health will be in proper shape. It needs to be in. We're praying for you, most importantly. Make sure you like all our pages, My Dominion TV, and drop your comments. Be a part of the show. We'll get to share with the world, share your thoughts, your questions, and every other thing that's on your mind, right? This is the news review segment. My guest in studio, Reverend Saviour Demordzie, is a clinical engineer and also pastor with an assistant pastor with the Action Chapel International Tertiary. He joins us, and of course, Pastor Bernard Addy is a forensic scientist with the Ghana Armed Forces.
So if you know, why do you keep doing what you're doing?
What do I do? I'm just introducing you.
You know that I'm a forensic scientist, but maybe I allow you to. I heard that Monday you were supporting me on air.
What did I say exactly?
You said something. What did you say about the single summit?
No, I mean, we were discussing the single summit.
Yes.
And one of the things that I wanted to hear from you, especially because I asked whether you were there, because you were going to come and share with us. Hey. So, no, everybody that came shared with us. I asked Dr. Api Akubi to also share what he shared. And he said you were also there, so you took part of the message. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
What exactly do you want to know?
I'm interested in what you took from it, because we are looking up to you, people like both of you, not only as married and single, but also men of God. But are you single? So what did you share with the people? What
I heard that love God, you'll be fine in this life.
At Single Summit, we are loving God.
Oh yes, you don't want to love God.
We are loving God, we know. But Single Summit, we are preparing you.
I think one of the key things.
Right.
That Bishop said something.
Okay.
He said something about being prepared for interpersonal differences, and the examples that he shared, some of the things that can break a marriage. You know, it's not good I shared it on live TV this morning.
But he shared it.
But it was a private caucus. If you pay it, I'll buy.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
So it was not live anywhere.
Oh no, I don't think so.
You sure?
Was it live? No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It was live on DTV. The social
Facebook. So please say it. It was live. So it was streamed. Please say it.
So he shared a story about two different scenarios. One was about snoring. Yes.
Tell me about it.
He said there are certain things you can't know because you haven't really asked.
Exactly.
And there are no biblical principles per se that you can use to really, circumvent that one.
Yeah.
Except, things like don't behave unbecomingly and so on. That things like snoring can end your relationship easily, your marriage relationship. It can strain it. And he set an example of a certain lady who had indigestion issues. I was always passing gas. Said, it destroyed her marriage. Passing gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your fear?
Oh, come on.
That's your fear. No, I want to understand. That's your fear?
That's not my fear at all.
So why are you driving? Where are we going?
What I'm saying is that you have to take your time. That's what he said. So take your time. And was it him or someone else that said it's better for you to have a 2-year marriage that is good than to have a 20-year marriage that is terrible. And he also mentioned that marriage is not a prison. Marriage is not a prison. At least it's not supposed to be. So before you enter, you have to make sure that you have dotted your I's, crossed your T's, and you give glory to God.
I see.
Yeah.
Global Prayer Works is coming up.
Yeah.
17th to 19th of July.
Yeah.
The whole world is coming together. I don't know what you want to tell us today, though, as far as expectation is concerned.
Now, when it comes to Global Prayer Summit, this is something that is done globally by the Archbishop. We've seen the impact of prayer all over the years, and it's just exciting that it's coming this time around in action. And the people on the billboard, I bet you these are firebrands. These are individuals that have impacted generations over the year. Someone like Isu Danaba. These are great giants that have done great things in the kingdom. And to sit under their ministry and to see them pray for the nations, pray for families and other things. And look at it, our Papa is already stirred up, ready to Charlie, to lead the church in prayer. And I believe that this is the time that we need to pray more.
Yeah.
This is the time that we need to raise intercession more for Ghana and the continent of the world. And Papa is just fulfilling his mandate, and we all, as intercessors, individuals that believe in prayer, must come across to join this force.
That's right.
So we are inviting all to just come and join this army of intercessors, lifting up prayer to avert the things of darkness that the enemy is doing. Someone like Ampia Kofi.
That's right.
The first time I met him prayed, I just became a prayer addict.
Serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited about Sandra Boachi.
Okay. Yeah, I think you spoke about it.
Yeah. I mean, I really love her ministry. And Simeon is back. So you really don't want to miss it. 19 July, 9 a.m., Next Gen Auditorium.
Yeah.
There's going to be a leadership summit. It's going to be a very powerful time. We are with the Honorable Sam Jatta George.
Okay, he's going to
He will be around, and then the Honorable Francis Asanso Boachi is also going to be around. So the young people who want to have prospects in the future, personal development for leadership in the future, that's a theme. You are invited. The Next Gen Auditorium is on the Action Chapel premises. Once you get to the Accra Mall, you say you're going to Action Chapel, you're going to be directed. There are going to be buses also on that Saturday. Yeah. Buses will be at the Accra Mall and at other vantage points. The numbers will be on the screen. The flyers are also going around. So if you see the number below the flyer and you want to call, please do. You'll be directed. It's going to be so powerful.
That's right.
So powerful.
Well, there we have it. And so get ready, 17th to 19th of July. How many days more?
17th is, today is 10th, right?
Is it?
Or 9th.
Nice.
So it's going to be next week Thursday.
Okay, right.
Next week Thursday.
We'll be expecting all of you to be around. Let's meet. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray for our land and our continent and, of course, the world. Well, let's get on to the very first one, shall we? Let's get on to the stories. Mahama has returned with vision and determination, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams has said. And this is on City Newsroom. The founder and general overseer of Action Chapel International, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, has voiced strong confidence in President John Dramani Mahama's capacity to offer credible and transformational leadership during his tenure. He was speaking during an interview with Mr. Bernard Avle, where he emphasized that the president's return to office is grounded in experience and a clear resolve to learn from the past and chart a more impactful course for Ghana's development. This is what he had to say, and I quote, "When you look at some of the crises on our continent, it just doesn't make sense. I don't want to mention names of countries, but it just doesn't make sense for us to retrogress with all we have. And this country and continent have had some great leaders and still do in certain areas. There's no reason why this continent and our country, Ghana, must not thrive and flourish. There's no reason why our currency cannot do better. With a gold reserve we have and all the oil and cocoa, we can do better." He continued to say, and I quote, "We just need visionary leaders and selfless leaders." And I believe, this is what he had to say, I'm quoting, "and I believe that President John Dramani Mahama is a visionary leader, a selfless leader, because he has been here before. He has learned from his past mistakes, and he has come back with a drive and passion and determination to correct the mistakes of the past and make a difference, to go down in history as one who walked and came back with a difference," unquote. I needed to stress that particular portion so that it's clear in our minds that he's not just talking out of a certain likeness or fondness for the current president. He's saying he believes. And I think I want to also state I think this factual, that he has said this for most presidents I have seen. Believing in what they can do, working with them, almost all of them, unless probably you are against him. All the ones I have seen, you see him get closer, offer advice, prayers, and all of that. But I want to hear your thoughts, though.
Well, look, when you look at the Archbishop, for instance, I think over decades now, he has been on the scene.
48 years?
48 years. He has dealt with almost all the sitting presidents that have sat or governed Ghana, and not only Ghana, across Africa. You know, a lot of
the world
presidents look up to him for inspiration. And when you look at Africa, for instance, with what this president, Captain Touare, has established over the few years in governance, it tells you that Africa can do better if we have very strong leaders, visionary leaders, and people who are really focused. And he has demonstrated it. So with the Archbishop just coming out to say that he believes in the visions of Mahama and all that he's doing, I think it's a good cause. And for what we have seen so far, just 6 months in office, is clear indication that the guy is really poised to do the best. And I believe that for him coming back, he has been in power before. He has seen all the luxuries. He has seen the trials that have gone, he has been through. And this time around, you can see that he has come with a new energy. Yeah. The way he's even doing things is quite amazing. You can see that he's really in for the people of this country. So when you see people like this, you need to encourage them. You need to believe in what they are doing and also lift up prayer for them. And we know Papa, over the years, he has fulfilled his mandate. When you look at Timothy, he said, first of all, I exhort you that prayer and intercession should be made for all kings and all those that are in authority, exactly. That they live a peaceable life and with all reference. And Papa has accomplished this over the years. So I think this is a time that we as a nation, not to be partisan, but to believe in someone who is saying the right thing and doing the right thing. And we need to throw our weight behind him so that we can have drastic economic development throughout the whole nation. I think this is a good cause, and we don't need to just say, oh, because he's NDC affiliated. No, but this is somebody who is really in for the development of Ghana, and I think we should all rally behind it. So Papa, with this statement, I think is a good one.
You know, that the beauty of democracy is what we witness with things like these. When a leader is chosen in a democratic state, it's the will of the people that are spoken. No matter how we want to judge the leaders that we've had so far. And you made a statement saying Papa has always thrown his weight behind the leaders that are elected. Whenever a leader is elected, Ghana has a reputation for conducting fair and fair elections. And whenever a leader is elected here in the country, it's the will of the people that are spoken. And if you're a well-meaning Ghanaian, after elections, you put your partisan affiliations aside and you support the leader to make sure that they drive the country forward. And if the leader doesn't do what's expected of him, you wait patiently for 4 years. You let the time do the talking. That's right. And that's what we've done. Papa has been a counselor and confidant for leaders in this country for as far as I can remember. You know, this particular building, the Prayer Cathedral, I think was opened by President Kufuor.
Kufuor, yeah.
The corporate office was opened by President Mills. President in, President out, he's been constant. And one of the things that makes him scary in this country, makes him really powerful, because powerful people have come and gone and he's been around. That's right. And he stayed relevant throughout all their tenures and so on and so forth. And Papa putting out this statement, you know, before this, there were a couple of people that had made some allegations against him and made some very unsavory statements against him in the media. I think it was John Benjamin, the former High Commissioner to Ghana, from British High Commissioner, and then this guy, Abronye DC. As for Abronye, when
did John make that statement?
It was
when he was.
No, recently after the Thanksgiving prayers.
John is still talking?
Yes, amazingly. You know, and he's trying to use his credibility from his time as, you know, High Commissioner to Ghana. You know, when he was High Commissioner to Ghana, he really was a public figure in that sense.
Yes,
you know, he was everywhere, you know, attending functions, rolling with, you know, Ghanaian celebrities and so on and so forth. So it looks as if he's leveraging that to make statements that put him in a light of like something of an expert on Ghanaian matters, as it were. And he said something to the effect that, you know, pastors live very rich and luxurious at the expense of the tithe and offerings of the people who are really poor and needy, you know, and he's seen it firsthand visiting Papa in his office and in his house. You see, it's one of the ways you can know that somebody, is not wise. If you go to somebody's house, I've been to President Kufuor's house before. I've been to a number of high-profile people's homes before. Now, if I come and talk about how their homes are and use that to make a statement on their being or their personality, I think that's a very unwise thing to do. Very, very unwise thing to do. And there was a comment that somebody posted under his statement, which I found very amusing, but also very true. He said, if you think it is because of tithes and offerings that is living the way he is. You to start a church, put all your energy into it and see what that to be like that. Do you know how many people have started churches and have been in a game for 20 or more years and don't have up to even 500 members? If you think it's easy, do it. If you think it is very simple, do it and let's see. You see, so Papa is somebody all over the years. And in fact, when Bernard Avle was interviewing him, he asked him about those issues. And he declined to comment. He said, you see, I've been around for some time and I've seen the end of such people. You know, there's no need for me to talk. And if you've been around in this country for a while, you know that Nicholas Duncan Williams is a very controversial name. Whenever it is mentioned in the news, you know that something is about to follow. When he started using mobile phone, we were talking. When he was driving a Benz, we were talking. When he traveled outside, he said he traveled first class, we were talking. And hey, he's been in the news. So I'm sure by now he's used to, you know, controversy and all that. And that is what makes him such a star player and such a constant voice, you know, because he's seen it all. He's been around through the coups and, you know, the democratic transition. He's seen everything. So Papa is somebody you cannot you know overlook in the history of Ghana's politics and so on.
I see.
Him putting out a statement like this, and especially John Mahama himself as a person, he's been MP, he's been deputy minister, he's been minister, he's been vice president, and now twice president. I don't know what kind of experience he doesn't have. He's seen it all. The two of them are a very good pair.
I see. Anyways, that's by the way. I don't know why I missed that, John. Maybe also because it was not irrelevant. Because also I don't know how I didn't get connected because I get to surf a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed it. I've seen that Brognes.
Brognes old, but
yeah,
didn't see
but
your
no.
It's not relevant. I don't know what can.
Because
it's amazing. You know.
We knew how he went out of this country. We knew how he left, and after that, we knew the life. What does he do these days? Maybe I'll check. Well, let's get on to the next story. Nationwide doom so expected on July 30th. I'm not sure you have.
Just 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm not sure you have any thoughts. So let's just share with the people and then move on. Okay, you are Minister for Energy and Green Transition John Abdullah Jinapo has announced a nationwide power interruption scheduled for Sunday, July 13th, as part of maintenance works by gas suppliers. ENI, forgive me. The disruption will result from a temporary shutdown of gas valves to allow for rehabilitation works aimed at increasing gas output. Speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony for the reconstruction of the 161 kV Awomaso to Kumasi transmission line on, don't do that, July 8th, Mr. Jinapo explained that ENI's planned maintenance will temporarily halt gas supply, leading to expected short-term power outages. This Sunday, July 13th, ENI will turn off their valves temporarily to increase gas production to about 270 SCF. It means that we are stabilizing the energy sector. All righty. So it's going to be within a short period. All right. 6 hours, we are told. Yeah. Anything?
I think it's a good news. I think it's just an upgrade of the energy sector.
All right.
It
should not be more than 6 hours.
No, I'm concerned about.
I think it's a minimum.
It's a minimum
estimation.
So you should have given us maximum.
Well,
so that we know.
According to the work they will do, they think that within the 6 hours
it should be done.
They should be done.
So that's maximum.
So
that's maximum within 6 hours.
Meteorological
but
services
I think that the time frame should be indicated. You know, the time frame. If it is from 7.
How would they know?
No, they have to.
They can't be able to calculate every single thing that will happen. If meteorological service says it's going to rain, would they say it's going to rain 6 hours?
That's different. That's a natural.
How is it different?
That's natural.
It's good
planned maintenance. Planned maintenance.
6 hours. So if you have anything to do, just add the 6 hours to it. So that you will not be found wanting to be for
the question
one.
Is the time frame, whether it's in the afternoon, the evening, they should be able to communicate.
Is that 6 hours in a day? So let's assume it's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., right? 6 hours is 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if it spills over a little and it goes to around 3 p.m., Just make sure you have your power bank.
Okay, that's
charged.
fine. That's okay.
Just charge your power bank and make sure that you're not found wanting. And the girlfriends will not tolerate any. There's so I didn't see the WhatsApp message. We'll take those things. Please, we've been told that there's going to be light out. Those girlfriends who have planned to use that as an opportunity to give excuses, we'll take it.
We'll
please.
take it. They're
Public
not
service
gonna-
announcement. The boyfriends.
Like that. Anyways, and now on to a very interesting one. I'm sure some that will tickle the fancy of Pastor Addy. Suspended Chief Justice takes case to ECOWAS court. Deputy Attorney General Justice Sermsai has disclosed that the suspended Chief Justice of Ghana, Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokono,
Saki, you didn't bring the Saki.
there's no Saki here, has filed a fresh application at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice in Abuja, Nigeria. The legal move seeks redress over her suspension and the process initiated for her possible removal from office. The latest development comes amidst ongoing legal proceedings in Ghana where 3 separate petitions have been filed seeking her removal. Justice Tokonu, who was suspended by President John Dramani Mahama under Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution, has already challenged the suspension before both the Supreme Court and the High Court. And this is what Justice Sermsai had to say on a Facebook page. So essentially, okay, right. According to him, that's the Deputy Attorney General, she's invoking claims of human rights violations arising from a suspension without a conclusive determination on the petitions against her. Essentially, her leadership argues that by her suspension, she has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. Okay. Yeah.
That's some crazy.
Yeah.
It's interesting the turn of issues, you know. When I learned that she has gone to ECOWAS, it reminds me of a story.
Oh, there's a story. Tell me about it.
Let me not assume it's so, because there was once a doctor who was operating a lot of patients on a table. And the same doctor fell sick. When they were going to operate him on the table, he said no.
He said no.
Don't operate me on the table.
Why?
Hey.
Because there was something wrong with the table.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it raised a lot of issues, you know. You are a judge. You are to the pedigree she has rise in law in the judicial sector is not just an easy phase. She has been through it to reach that level. And here is a case that has been leveled against you, and the judicial service of Ghana is looking at it. So for you, as much as she has her right to seek redress at any level that she wishes to, my fear is that this is somebody who has been in the judiciary for long. Does that mean you doubt the competence of your own people?
The table is shaky. Said the table is not good.
So she's entitled to justice.
She can go as far as she wants. Watch the ICC.
But we just pray that the outcome is something that will not mar the judicial service.
Koku,
So let's wait for the outcome and see how it goes.
Koku, this woman is becoming a bit dramatic.
Why?
Too much. So this thing, we've not recovered from the press conference she gave. And look at what she has brought in. She said, Edu Lodge, what, the SIB report, when you read it, even Captain Chikata, that is cited to have done something along the lines of, he met somebody in front of Edu Lodge. That is all about Edu Lodge in that SIB report. And again, that meeting was even in October. The judges were killed in June. Have you read the SIB report?
Listen to commentaries.
Okay. So the SIB report that was released on the judge's murder states that, yes, Edu Lodge was mentioned briefly because Captain Chikata met somebody in front of Edu Lodge across the road. Finish. This woman came to tell us that it was instrumental in the planning. It weren't good at the time. And then we are still processing that. Now you've gone to ECOWAS. For those who don't know, ECOWAS court is there for 4 reasons. Their jurisdiction it covers 4 things. If you have any dispute that has to do with ECOWAS and its employees, you can go there. Maybe ECOWAS is not dealing well with a liability for it or against it, you can go there. Anything that has to do with a member state not behaving well, you can go there. And the 4th jurisdiction is what she has gone there for, human rights violations by any member state. What she's saying is that Ghana is violating human rights. She's been the subject of human rights violations. I don't understand, Koku. I don't get where the Chief Justice is taking this to. I don't know who is counseling her. I don't get it.
You don't?
I don't. Human rights violations, really? Article 146, Section 10 says that the President reserves the right to suspend the Chief Justice in consultation with Council of State.
Yeah.
He has done that. It is constitutional. So what exactly is her? She said what? She's been impeded by DA. What?
So in her mind's of minds, while the process is still ongoing, she needs to still be in office.
In office.
Has she read the Constitution?
Well, are you asking me what that?
No, because Article 146 is quite plain. It says the president may. It's a discretionary power, and he's choosing to apply it. So what exactly is the issue here? Everything, first of all, we wouldn't even have a committee hearing without a prima facie determination. That is not even done by the president. It is done by the Council of State. Unfortunately for you, Gloria Kufu is there. She was a former Chief Justice, isn't it? And she looked at the thing in consultation with the Doa Jaho and co. And they said...
She's just one person out of 30.
Doa Jaho was also a Speaker of Parliament.
So, I mean, Doa Jaho...
There are other prominent people there who understand law. They saw the thing, they said, this thing qualifies to proceed. I don't... the advisors of the suspended Chief Justice, please sit up. Advise the woman properly because it looks like it's not going well.
A lot of people, no matter how it's simplistic it sounds, it could be the issue of deepening democracy as compared to, statements such as embarrassments. So why don't you see it from, a more positive angle where it's deepening of democracy, testing the law to the latter?
Well, if that is the case, then let's go.
Do you know, are you aware, though, before we get on to the next story, that whatever the decision of the ECOWAS courts is binding?
Is it binding?
It is binding.
Really?
Nanka, what?
Okay. So the ECOWAS courts will not act independent of the laws of the country concerned.
Right.
Article 146 is what is being challenged.
Yes.
There's a process to interrogate your role in certain offenses or allegations that have been leveled against you. Petitions have been brought. The constitutional process has been followed. You are saying that your fundamental human rights have been violated. So we have to look into the case. You filed a case at High Court.
At the High Court, yeah.
It's pending judgment. Filed a case at Supreme Court. Pending judgment. Then you have gone to
ECOWAS.
You see, it's like
the three
it's like she's sitting on some tenterhooks that we don't even know what is going on. When the High Court ruling comes and it is not in your favor, then maybe you can move to the Supreme Court. But you've done it. You are literally, it's like you are just dropping. Hey, Charlie, we are sorry.
Yes, the decisions of ECOWAS Court of Justice are binding on all member states. This is explicitly stated in the ECOWAS revised treaty, the supplementary protocol on the court. So member states are obliged to take necessary measures to ensure the execution of these judgments.
No problem at all.
Okay.
But as long as we see we are all literate, we can see this thing. And even lawyers who are not up to the stature of the Chief Justice can see the faults in some of the writs that she's filing. Lawyers like Lawyer Tamaklo, I think he's a CEO of something.
No, but Lawyer Tamaklo, if you want to do politics, then...
I think he was the head of legal for NDC, right?
Exactly. So you probably will not find... Okay. If you want to go by that...
What about Martin Kpegbu?
Well, Martin tells you as it is. I mean, so yes. Martin will tell you
these people don't have
as
much experience as the embattled Chief Justice. the Chief Justice has been in the law game for about 36 years or so. She's been around for a very long time.
Very experienced.
She said, she's very, very experienced. So it's amazing and amusing that she's doing what she's doing.
I see.
I think she can see the writing on the wall. And
Okay.
I don't know why. We know why she said it. She said once she resigns, then she forfeits all the benefits.
Okay.
If she's removed too, I think she also forfeits all the benefits. But whether she resigns or she's removed, I think we can see that. Dr. Pia could be good morning.
All right. Doc says we are having tea tomorrow. So
No problem. I'll be there with my A1 bread.
Gold smugglers to face 2.4 million Ghana cedis fine or jail. Mahama warns. President John Dramani Mahama has issued a firm warning to individuals and foreign entities involved in illegal gold trading, announcing that violations under the Gold Board Act will attract a hefty fine of up to 2.4 million Ghana cedis. What a fine. Imprisonment or both. Speaking at the inauguration of the Gold Board Task Force on Tuesday, July 8th, at the National Security Secretariat, President Mahama said the new law explicitly bans unlicensed trading and prohibits foreigners from purchasing gold on Ghana's local market. This is what he had to say. The Gold Board Act prohibits unlicensed trading and bans foreigners from purchasing on the local market. Any breach of this law could lead to a fine of up to 2.4 million Ghana cedis, or imprisonment of 5 to 10 years, or both. You can be imprisoned and still pay the fine.
My goodness.
President Mahama stressed that the law will be applied without discrimination, adding that both local and foreign offenders will face full legal consequences. And so that's it. That's the crux of the issue. I support this with 20,000 bags of something.
I think we've all seen the significant impact of, since the invention of this gold bond, seen the impact on the economy, the stabilization of the city. So it's of essence that we find ways to safeguard the gold. So with this find, I think it will deter a lot of people, because if you are caught doing some of this smuggling, you are supposed to pay about 2.4 million or to be jailed. I think you dare not. So I think it's a good initiative that the president has come up to safeguard the gold of Ghana. And I just pray that the task force that have been initiated to do a good job, they also don't go become biased and begin to do all sort of things. So, we believe that they play the role that they have been assigned to, so that at least we all have a stable economy in this country.
I've always wondered the use of gold. Like, what is gold used for?
Hey.
Yeah. And I found out that it was used for way more than what I thought it was.
Way more.
Medicine, computers,
Yeah.
aerospace, dentistry, even cosmetics. So gold is a very precious commodity, and I now understand why countries with gold always have a stable currency, and they always do well in terms of economics. What the Gold Board has done for Ghana in these few months that we've seen them execute their mandate, I can see that if we take it seriously, we will go far as a country. This task force is in order. The 2.4 million Ghana cedi fine, I don't even know exactly whether it is the maximum fine or it's a statutory fine. But whatever the case is, I don't think you want to find yourself in a position where you have to pay 2.4 million Ghana cedis for an offense. I think it's just good that you avoid it. Or jail, or both. Hey! And President Mahama himself is the one who is sounding a warning. So I think it would be a good idea to listen. And I also saw a story that said that any whistleblower is entitled to 10% of whatever proceeds that are recovered from your whistleblowing activities. In other words, if you choke, if you are somebody who's a chuka, you can get a tithe of your chukings. Yes.
I mean, if we don't have to do any work and it's just to blow,
a professional chuka.
Go and buy a whistle and blow. Why not?
Yes, all the gold dealers and illegal, we are watching.
I'm buying a green, like my
a green whistle.
Green whistle. So I blow it.
Blow from coast
That's
to
not
coast.
what whistle blowing is. Please.
Whistleblowing is basically calling out wrongdoing.
Absolutely.
Many times at your own expense.
Yes.
Also or at the peril of your life, yes.
Also because we've not had cases in the past where the whistleblower is protected.
Yes.
Usually your identity is concealed.
Yes.
And all of that. But so if that regime can be looked at again, I think a lot of people...
I think there's a whistleblower act in Ghana.
There is. There's definitely is. But, I mean, you go and these lousy authorities also take monies and tell you it is Reverend
This
Saviour
person
that
is,
thing,
it's Reverend Saviour.
And there's always someone who's ready to spend some money. I don't know how much, and they don't get satisfied as well. But hey, let's see how it goes, I guess. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Lucrative.
Yeah, very.
There were bounty hunters in the past.
Oh, was there?
Who go around. Oh, yeah, professional bounty hunters.
Okay.
Maybe they declare person wanted, they cannot find it. Yeah, they hunt you down and they go and collect the money. So we are around the professional whistleblowers.
The very professional ones. We have trained for it.
Yes, anybody who is smuggling gold, anything, we are coming for you.
That's right.
10% is ours.
Yeah. Anyways, Ningo chiefs reject claims of Igbo kingdom in Old Ningo, urge Interior Minister to investigate. The Ningo Traditional Council has dismissed claims that a supposed Igbo king from Nigeria has established a new kingdom within the Old Ningo area. The council describing the reports as baseless and unauthorized. In a letter addressed to the Minister of Interior, the council led by its president and paramount chief Nene Ostragbo and Jangma, the 12, said no such authority has been granted to any individual to declare a kingdom on Ningo land. And this is what he had to say, and I quote, "Our attention has been drawn to recent media publications about the alleged establishment of a kingdom by a self-proclaimed king of Igbos."
Oh, he was elected.
Elected by who exactly?
The Igbo community.
No, well, we don't know. I mean, you cannot go to Nigeria and go and declare that some people have elected you to form a kingdom in their... Hello.
A flower kingdom around Lagos.
No. You can do your meetings and say, you are a chief and representative of whatever. To say, please, I mean, hello.
You don't even want to. You don't entertain such things. Please, calm down.
Okay,
Initially, when I heard the news, I was asking how true it was. Until the claim came that the chiefs are seeking the Interior Minister to look into the issue. Well, as of now, we can't really ascertain the truth of the whole story because here is the person claiming that he has a kingdom in that land, and the chiefs are also saying a statement that there is nothing like that. And
there is nothing.
I don't know why they are seeking the Interior Minister to look into it. So there may be some element of truth. Maybe he has purchased a huge land or something like that. We are not really sure of the outcome of it. So let's wait to see how it goes, because for now it's becoming whether it is true or not.
I've seen him a couple of times appear at events.
Yeah. With a delegation, pomp and pageantry.
Yes.
You know, Igbos are very intentional people.
Okay.
Very, very intentional. When you go to Circle now, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and you go through the phone dealers, many of them are Nigerians, Igbo people. There are people that when they come into your territory, they establish themselves very quickly because they're not lazy. They're very, very industrious, very ingenious. But another thing too is that, excuse me to say, some of them are very ambitious to the extent that they try to sometimes overdo it. You know, they don't mean evil. Like this one, what he's trying to do is basically make sure that all the Igbo people in Ghana are taken care of, you know, as a leader of the community. And it is not uncommon to find people of a common nationality or a common tribe in a foreign nation who have gathered themselves. In places like Canada and the US, there are Ghanaian communities there. You know, when you go to places like Maryland, Maryland especially, there are a lot of Ghanaians clustered in one place, and they help each other in that way. Nigerians also, even Africans, you know, Cameroonians, Senegalese, Ghanaians, Nigerians, all of them clustered in one place, and all of them exchange, you know, help, as it were. Because it's very painful for you to go to a place where you don't know anybody, nobody speaks the language that you speak, you know, you are very, very, I'm lost in terms of, So sometimes these communities help. But when you want to now organize it in a way that may have security implications, no, I don't think. That's what the Honorable Sam George is talking about. He said he's not aware of anybody coming for any land for such a purpose. So if the man has declared that he has actually procured
50 acres,
this amount of land, yes, and it's 50 acres is a lot.
It's a lot,
plots,
yeah.
yes. So it's something that the Interior Minister should, and the Interior Minister is the one in charge of internal security.
Yeah.
So it is a security issue. So the Interior Minister will have to look into it to see whether indeed there is such a plan and what exactly will be the motive of it. This also brings to mind some very not so good memories of a time when there was a certain Bujumburam camp in Ghana. It was supposed to be a refugee camp and nothing more. And as time went on, it was supposed to be a place of refuge for displaced people in the Liberian War. And we welcomed them with open arms. We established a whole community for them, on the Kaswa Road, the Budumburam place. Only for the place now to become a hub for crime. And sometimes it was because the young men from that place weren't getting jobs to do.
Right.
Language barrier and a lot of things, But then they turned to crime, which became a national issue. Armed robbers were stemming from there. There were strange crimes too that were happening over there. Very strange. Pregnant women, some pregnant woman has been killed. Somebody and somebody are quarreling over something petty and the person is killed. Gunshot, shooting incidents, fire days. Somebody has been decapitated, mutilated. It became a bit too much to the point that the thing was even dismantled. And some people were saying, these people are displaced, they don't have anywhere to go. But no, it's becoming a security threat. So learning from that experience, I don't think discussions along the lines of establishing a foreign community in a country will be received favorably. This Igbo king, I don't think he meant evil or he meant any malice. But establishing a community with a community center and lanes named after Nigerian whatever, it's not on. It's not on. We've seen some before, so with all respect,
I think we just need to state it clearly that I'm not sure anybody's against any development whatsoever by any group of people, especially when they're Africans.
Exactly.
I think I want us to be clear, but where it smacks of things I cannot say. And the people themselves are not comfortable. One of the things is, you can set up your businesses, pay your taxes, choose to employ your own Igbo people to work there. But to say that you are establishing a community, a kingdom,
that word is a problematic.
Of course, if you also check Modern Ghana, 27th of June, 2025, a pressure group calling itself Apex Citizens of Ghana have petitioned the National House of Chiefs to take swift action against His Royal Majesty, Dr. Chukwudu Jude Ihenetu, for parading himself as a king of Igbo community in Ghana. So there's even a story.
He was elected, though. Guys.
By who?
By the Igbo community.
But you see, we cannot sit here because if we open the phone lines and allow Igbos to call, and they say no, they are not.
We don't know him.
So maybe a section of people.
I don't think
that pertains to also even us, where factions are fighting, and then Reverend Saviour goes to call his own faction, Mr. Agbenye, to come and install him as a chief. You also go and call your own faction and all that. So I'm saying that the National House of Chiefs or the House of Chiefs have a role to play, or has a role to play in most of these things, even in our Ghanaian context.
I don't think it is strange that any Igbo would not know that this man is the leader of Igbos in Ghana. There are Ghanaians in the US who don't know the Ghanaian High Commissioner to the US. They don't know the Ghanaian ambassador to it, but they are in the US, they are Ghanaians. Yes, they don't know his name and all that. So it's nothing new. But the problem here is the fact that he is trying to. There are several communities. For those who don't know, in Action Chapel, there's a Filipino church. Dr. Piakubi is the pastor of the Filipino church. He speaks fluent Filipino. I almost said Philippa. My enemies did not get me. Hey, I was saying, processing my head, what's the language? If I'd said something Philippa, or something. I fell about Dr. Kubi speaks fluent Filipino. There are communities, there are Lebanese community in Ghana.
Yeah.
Imagine. Chinese community, Lebanese, if they say they've gone to procure a land
and they are
at
setting
this
up
Legon.
domes. Oh.
And there's a Filipino king. I think it will not be. You have Filipino king, Chinese king, Indian king, Lebanese king, Yoruba king. The one who is over this country is called John Mahama, for your information. Apart from that, there are members of parliament and other things, DCs. This is the local government structure. We don't know any of this.
But basically, in some communities, you see some of those things. For instance, you go to somewhere like Kumasi, then there's a community like Angloga.
Oh, yeah.
And they will tell you that this is the chief. But it doesn't mean that he's the chief of.
The problem with this guy is that he's trying to get sub-chiefs. So that is the issue with him. So, he's not a chief, he's a king. And trying to get sub-chiefs. You try and read on this particular thing. I followed it very religiously.
Wow.
The problem with this particular person is that he is not seeing himself as a leader of a community. He sees himself as an authority.
Wow.
And he wants to have sub-chiefs. He wants to have sub-chiefs are ministers, right? Exactly. That's what he's trying to do. That is why these Apex people are saying, excuse me, pull the brakes on this guy before he turns into something else. The other communities that are watching, please don't take a cue. Nobody should go and procure a land anywhere to come and do any community, Togolese community, Lebanese community. Please, just be good citizens. Meet at your normal cafes and your bars and whatever. Have a good time in Ghana. Ghana is open for everybody, for business. I have foreign friends. I have people who are not Ghanaians who live in Ghana and they are living in Ghana legally. And also, if you are living in Ghana and you don't have a Ghana card, you don't have a residence permit, you don't have any of those documentations to live in Ghana, you are committing an offense. You're in the criminal books. Please try and rectify that.
Right. Finally, before we go, South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa has opposed what he calls the unilateral high trade tariffs imposed on his country by the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced on Monday that he would subject imports from South Africa to a new 30% tariff from 1st August. A lot is happening also with regards to Ghana. Ghana has been removed from the list of countries eligible for the U.S. visa waiver program. This means that Ghanaian citizens will no longer be able to travel to the U.S. for up to 90 days for tourism or business without obtaining a traditional visa. There's quite a number of things happening. We're planning to see whether Dr. Ishmael Oniamanododo, who was a senior UN diplomat, will be joining us tomorrow. So we can ask some of these questions aside what he does now with the 24-hour economy, because we need to understand what is really happening with the US and other countries. Yes, just yesterday, a friend of mine went for a student visa. A lot of them have been bounced. I mean, all of them, like we're told, all of them have been bounced. They've not given them any reason and all of that. They don't. Well, they may give you reasons.
Really?
May.
Then that must be very...
May. So I don't know what's happening with the US, though. Any thoughts quickly before we wrap up?
Well, I think what the US is doing is just a wake-up call to us as Africans, because, for instance, the decisions of Trump shouldn't affect the economies of Ghana. That is what to me. So we have all the resources that we need for development. What is it that we are lacking in this country? We have oil, we have gold, we have manganese, we have all the natural resources to make us better. But here is the case, because of mismanagement and all sort of things, we have to somehow depend on these strong superpowers for a lot of things. I was watching when I think earlier this year, when some of the aids were withdrawn and it was becoming catastrophic. So I think some of these things, we don't have to wait and be so much dependence on foreign aid before we become productive in whatever we are doing. So it's just a wake up, not only South Africa. This is 30% tariffs and they are crying. So it is when we become so productive and most of our things that we have are of relevance. I don't think that the US will have that kind of audacity or power to impose some of these tariffs on us. So it is time that Africa look beyond the veil. We become very productive and we really, patronize what we have. It will help us as a whole.
I see.
Well, you see, this is the reason Osagyefo was really gunning for African unity.
Yes.
There are many other leaders who have come, and surprisingly or unsurprisingly, the US has been a major player in their assassinations. The CIA has...
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. There are documents to prove that the CIA was part of the conspiracy to overthrow Nkrumah. They did it. Look, a few days after Nkrumah was overthrown, the main brain behind that was Ankara. And Kotoka was the face, but the brain was Ankara and Afrifa. And a few days after the overthrow of Nkrumah, US aid began. And US aid was suspended by Kwame Nkrumah. He did not... The US helped us to build the Akosombo Dam. I think it was Kennedy and the one before, I think Eisenhower or someone like that, who helped to build the Akosombo Dam. After that, they tried to become manipulative and controlling. And Nkrumah will not stand for that. You know how Nkrumah is. He cut them off. And they didn't like that. They saw that he was getting too powerful too quickly. And Ghana started a nuclear program. GAIEC was started by Kwame Nkrumah as a nuclear program for nuclear energy, first of all, and for anything else, you know. And they would, for other things, it's for nuclear energy first. And for any other things that may arise, you know, petty domestic other things.
Yes.
You know, and they shut him down quick. Other leaders who have come, who have shown even a little of that charisma, Patrice Lumumba, Sankara, even Gaddafi.
Gaddafi, yeah.
These people have been openly killed by the US, unapologetically, very, very, I don't even want to use certain words. The US has had a very long track record of being against any kind of African sovereignty.
Some of the leaders of US.
Well, it's not a coincidence that those people have had that kind of mind. Yeah. And you see, they are not, it's not that they are against Africa. Right. They are trying to protect their interests.
Absolutely.
The US, they don't have allies or friends. They have interests. If you so align with their interests, then yeah, you are a friend for the moment. And that's how they've always operated. And so I don't think Cyril Ramaphosa should be very surprised by this kind of development. Whenever you stand up against them, and you see, we have also positioned ourselves in a way that we are weak negotiators. They give us the money. They give us what they feel is deserving of whatever service or product we are offering them, and then they give it to us at any cost that they choose relevant. We need to arise. Very recently, the Archbishop was talking at the National Prayer and Thanksgiving. In fact, he was praying. Yeah. And he said, a time is coming when Ghanaian youth will no longer have to travel to the US for greener pastures.
The time is now.
And they held him on the throat. They said, why did he say that?
Oh, yeah, the time is now.
Always, and you see, these things, I think, is a blessing in disguise. Yeah. When we look to these things and how the West is treating us now, it is a message to us that we need to soften those very strict border control measures between African countries that we've put, that restricts intercontinental free trade or intracontinental free trade, so that we can develop on our own terms, trade amongst ourselves, and become a superpower on our own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. We're back tomorrow again, of course, to do it. He's back tomorrow. You take a leave and join us again.
I'll come tomorrow with you.
Absolutely. Well, the African Continental Free Trade is still on. Let's take advantage of it. Let's come together and trade amongst ourselves. Reverend Saviour Demordzie is a clinical engineer. Of course, Pastor Addy is a forensic scientist. We're grateful that you can join us. God bless you.
We are grateful that we could come.
All right. Coming up is Tech and Trends. Do stay with us.